Hi, this is Mark Smith with Family Tree Counseling Associates, and I'm going to be speaking with you today on the subject 10 wicked myths that will keep you from building true love. There are a lot of myths in our society about love, so I'm going to go through 10 of them. The first is, if you find your soulmate, you can relatively easily overcome the challenges involved in building a 50-year happy marital commitment. I'm not real big on the whole soulmate concept. I don't believe in soulmates. What happens is young people, and sometimes even older people who should know better, they become enmeshed, is what we call it. They become head over heels, temporarily insane, and they let their hormones and their neediness and their deep emotional bonding parts lose control, and then over-idealize somebody into this magical term soulmate. But that enmeshment, that magic, that chemistry, it has a short shelf life. For most people it lasts 7 years. I'm talking about younger people and first-time marriages. With older folks, middle-aged folks, it tends to last 1 or 2 years. So the key to having a happy marriage has nothing to do with finding your soulmate. It has to do with healing the wounds from your childhood and becoming a healthy person. And when you're a healthy person, you're a good candidate for being in a healthy marriage. Myth number 2, a 22-year-old or a 23-year-old is qualified to select a life partner with very little in the way of coaching, feedback, accountability, therapy, or direction. As you can tell, I'm a little bit animated about this one. We sell our kids down the river. We lead them off to the emotional slaughter like lambs. We pay for lavish weddings, and you know, the photographer and the cake and all the flowers and the reception, everything that goes with it. And we have music that talks about, you know, the love that these kids have found. And, you know, these kids haven't found eternal love. They've just found somebody to be enmeshed with that they're going to probably, at best, be disconnected with in 7 years, 7 to 10 years. They might even hate them. So I think we do our kids a great disservice. We don't educate them as to what love is and the maturity level it takes to make that commitment. So that is a huge myth. 23-year-olds, all they know is who they like, and they certainly have radar to pick the right person. It's just that the right person happens to be somebody well qualified to not meet their needs and to hurt them. Which brings us to number 2. Marriage is a place where you can find happiness, fulfillment, and safety. Not so much. It's a myth. Marriage, my friends, is a place to get hurt. Marriage is a place to get hurt. If you've been married, you know what I'm talking about. Marriage is a place where you unconsciously but deliberately are attracted to somebody who is of the same psychological DNA of the people who hurt you the most when you were a child. And you marry them, and then they treat you the same way, and it really, really, really hurts. It's not safe. It's as far from safe as you can get. You can find fulfillment in marriage if you both stay in the box, you do the work, you heal the wounds. That can be fulfilling. Number 4, I picked my spouse because they're so good at meeting my needs. Well, initially there's some truth to that, but in marriage or in dating, what do? You spend time together with somebody doing cool stuff, and you have positive association. It feels like they're meeting your needs, but that's not why you married them. You selected that person because your gut was telling you, hey, there's something special about this person. Unfortunately, the thing that was special about them is in your heart of hearts, you knew that they were going to hurt you, and they were going to not meet your needs, and that really they're a carbon copy of your dad or your mom. You may not like to hear that. It is the truth. Number 5, if we're Christians and we get married, then our marriage is virtually guaranteed to be happy and last a lifetime. Nope, that is not true. Statistics indicate that the divorce rate for Christians is exactly equal to, if not a little higher than, for non-Christians. Just because you have Christian faith, that does not translate to marital happiness. If you take Christian faith here and you combine it with dysfunctional people, what you got is dysfunctional faith. And having faith and praying isn't going to heal your childhood wounds. Jesus is not going to come in and magically fix your childhood, in a prayer session or even in 1,000 prayer sessions. It's going to take some therapy, some grieving, some crying, a great deal of work on yourself, and prayer. Prayer's great, but if you rely just on your Christian faith to ensure a great marriage, more than half of you are going to end up divorced. That's a fact. So, number 6, love should be easy and natural. I got to admit, every time I've heard this, it was from a man. They think, early on you should just fall in love, and it should be easy. There shouldn't be conflict. It shouldn't be ugly. It shouldn't be terrible. Love is hard. One of my blogs I wrote, being married is like boiling in a pot of hot, spicy chili. Again, if you've been married for very long, you know what I'm saying is true. So love is work. Love is therapy. If you have been in love, you've been in therapy. Therapy isn't going to see a therapist. Therapy is picking somebody like your dad or your mom and living with them every day the rest of your life and having them do irritating stuff that drives you nuts. That's therapy. And it's very hard work. It's hard work if you do it well and you build a healthy marriage. It's harder work if you don't do it well and you end up going through a divorce. Number 7, if your marriage is a disaster, it's because you married the wrong person. Nobody's ever married the wrong person. Everybody always marries the right person. You fall in love with them for a reason. You fall in love with them because they fit your profile, because they're like your dad was when you were a kid, or like your mother was when you were a kid. And I'm not saying that maybe it wasn't an absolute unmitigated disaster, but it wasn't because you married the right person. You married somebody to give you an opportunity to heal and grow, and they were the right person. Number 8, I know my spouse, and I know that they're just not capable of ever cheating on me because it's just not who they are. Not so much. The truth is, anybody can have an affair. Anybody can, if they're put in a dangerous situation where their needs aren't being met and somebody comes along and starts meeting their needs, anybody, pastor, good Christian, loving housewife, salt of the earth people, they've all had affairs, and you have to guard your heart, and you have to guard your marriage, and you have to take care of meeting the needs of your spouse, or there is always a danger of somebody else slipping in and doing so. Number 9, this is one of my favorites. with my strong will and with lots of hard work and with my tremendous education and with me getting this awesome, well-paying job and my incredible house with my granite, countertops and my swimming pool and my 4-car garage and my really cool Escalade that I drive and my hot spouse, I've clearly overcome the fact that my parents were basically a couple of idiots. I mean, they were incompetent and dysfunctional and clueless and addictive and self-centered, and they completely screwed up my childhood. But I overcame. Nope. You just are fooling yourself. You have an illusion based on education and hard work and money and image. But my friend, the walls are going to come crashing down. You have built your life on a house of cards, and your marriage will blow up. If your marriage doesn't blow up, which it probably will, about 95% chance that it will at some point before age 50, then you will pass down your brokenness and your dysfunction to your children. Or it'll show up in your health, or it'll show up in your career. For a man like this, it probably won't show up in his career because he owns his business and he makes millions of dollars. But it doesn't mean you're not terribly broken. You cannot run from your childhood. It will eventually catch up with you, and it's meant to then teach you and break you. And finally, marriage counseling, can't really help. How can I go to a stranger and have him figure me out and figure my marital problems out? It's not going to help. Well, honestly, a lot of marriage counseling out there isn't very helpful. There's a lot of really bad marriage counselors out there. I don't mean to be negative, but it happens to be the truth. But if you go to someone who connects your family of origin issues with your marriage, somebody who's courageous and direct, who can figure out what's true and get you to see it, who can educate you, it can make a world of difference. It can save your life, it can save your marriage, it can save your career, it can get your children healthier. It is priceless. I was working with a guy last night who's going through a divorce, but he said, you know what? If I didn't know what I know about my childhood and why I picked who I picked, this divorce process would be 10 times worse. So marriage counseling done well and powerfully is worth its weight in gold. And so that is not true. So those are 10 myths about love that will get you in trouble. I hope it's been helpful. Thank you for watching. Again, my name is Mark Smith. You can reach us on our website at familytreecounseling.com, and my phone number is 317-507-8866. Thanks again.